welcome back to my channel. Thank you for checking in on me. But I've got a lot to talk about, and I have been doing very little reading, more buying than reading, and I need to do something about that. But I have a huge book haul to show you, and I want to get started. And maybe out of these books that I have purchased will spark your interest, and you read it and let me know what you think about it or do a review. So starting with Sleep Well, My Lady by Quay Quarty. I believe that is how you say his name. And this is a series of books. I believe this is the second in a series. And it's an adventure. This is a fiction mystery. And I don't want to talk about it if I haven't read the first book in the series. So let me know if you've read it and what you thought of the series, if it's worth me investing more time into it. But this is a Black author, a crime fiction writer and retired physician based in Pasadena, California. Quarty was born in Ghana, West Africa, to a Ghanaian father and a Black American mother, both of whom were lecturers at the University of Ghana. So this gentleman, a young African I should say, has been a very interesting series of books. Next on my list is Miss Pearlie's Girls. This is by Rashonda Tate Billingsley. And 4 sisters and too many secrets. This is a talk about girl book. Oh yeah. And she is also an African American author. And more about this book later. I got How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days. K.M. Jackson. I mean, the title just caught my interest, as well as the cover. And it just looks appealing. She was a U.S. Today best-selling author. She loves a good man with a bad boy edge and has been swooning for Keanu Reeves since she first set eyes on him in Dangerous Liaisons. A longtime advocate for equality and diversity, she is a mother of twins and lives in a suburb of New York with her husband. So, let me know if you've read this. Sounds very good. And these were like part of my summer reads, which I had intended to read and never did, but maybe next summer. And this is by Kann, The Romantic Agenda. Just look at that cover. It looks so cute. And I have one of her other books, Joy is in Love with Malcolm. Malcolm wants to date Summer. Summer is in love with Love. And Fox is Summer's ex-boyfriend. Oh, this sounds like a tangled web. Oh, so I'm going to read this eventually, and I think I will enjoy it. We'll see. Also for my summer read, I got Business Not As Usual by Sharon C. Cooper. And this is another pretty cover. A woman learns the hard way about mixing business with pleasure in this hilarious romantic comedy by USA Today best-selling author Sharon Cooper. So this is a rom-com, romantic comedy. Glad I got it. Another book I purchased is called Black Girls Must Be Magic by J. Allen, and I believe this is in a series of books, and I just think the cover again is very beautiful. And Black Girls Must Die Exhausted, I believe, was the first book in the series, and I believe she's got another one coming out in the series. And this is, J. Allen is the pen name of Jonquay Seeley, a graduate of Duke University and Harvard Law School, drawing from her unique experiences as an attorney and entrepreneur. She crafts transcultural stories that touch upon contemporary women's issues. Okay. And this next book is a shout out to my friend Roberta Thornton. And we were going to buddy read this book. I ordered it. Somehow it got lost in the mail, and I was able to get it recently. And I'm so looking forward to doing this. I don't know if it'll still buddy read. She had hers, but I didn't have mine. God is a Black Woman by Christena Cleveland, PhD. And this cover is gorgeous. This is a nonfiction. Hey, oh, this should be interesting. Wahala, a novel by Nikki May. Fast-paced, funny, shocking, unput-a-downable. I loved it. This was a review by someone. Three's Company, Four's Trouble. Look at that. Wahala. And Wahala is, Nikki May is born in Bristol, raised in Lagos, is Anglo-Nigerian. At 20, she dropped out of medical school, moved to London, and began a career advertising, going on to run a successful agency. Her inspiration for Wahala came after a long and loud lunch with friends. I know some of you, I think, have been on the booktube circuit and done reviews or have read this. And I try not to really focus on those reviews because I like to read things for myself and give my own review and opinion on things. So I'm looking forward to reading that. And I don't know if you're aware of the author Barbara Chase Rabaud. She has been writing for a long time. She has other great books that she has put out, and this one is called, I think she hasn't written in like 10 years or so. And now she's got a book called The Great Mrs. Elias. And as soon as I saw her name, I said, okay, I want to read it. And this is a picture of her. And this is a novel based on a true story. A murder and a case of mistaken identity bring the police to Hannah Elias's glitzy 5-story, 20-room mansion on Central Park West. This is the beginning of an odyssey that moves back and forth in time and reveals the dangerous secrets of a mysterious woman, the fortune she built, and her precious fall. Whoa, okay. Based on a true story. You're talking about historical fiction. That's my genre. I can't wait to read that one. I'm putting that on my TBR top read list. Okay, the next book I want to show you that I received is Will. And I know everyone knows Will Smith. And this is a autobiography. Need I say more? Will Smith is an actor, producer, and musician, and a two-time Academy Award nominee and Grammy and NAACP award winner who has enjoyed a diverse career encompassing films, television shows, and multi-platinum albums. He holds many box office records, including the most consecutive 100 million cross movies, 8. He and his wife founded the Will and Jada Smith Family Foundation to improve lives by providing invaluable resources to accelerate the growth of initiatives that focus on deepening individual and collective empowerment in the areas of arts, education, social empowerment, health, and wellness, and sustainability. Anyway, he co-authored this telling book, which I hope to one day soon, probably next year, I'll get to it and read it. My group read it. I missed out on that discussion, but moving on. This book, I got a recommendation from watching Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading, and I had to get it. It's called A Woman of Endurance by Dalma Llanos Figueroa. And the cover is very appealing. This book was released April 12th of 2022, and it is literature fiction. So I am looking forward to hopefully read and do a book review on my webpage. Also, real quick, I will go through these because I still have a stack. Empower Black Girl, Joyful Affirmations and Words of Resilience. This is by M.J. Fevre. I can't say that name, I'm not too sure, but look at that cover. Isn't that gorgeous? These are just affirmations. And it's not thick. It's a very thin book. It's got 119 pages. Then I have Black Girl Matters. Black Love Matters. Correction. Real talk on romance, being seen, and happily ever afters. This is by Jessica P. Pride. She has other books out, but this one, I had never heard of her, so I went ahead and got this one, and hopefully it's a very good read, and I may pick up her other books. And this is called Dear Santhurin, a Black Spirit Memoir. This is by Akweke Emezi, and she has done other books like Pet and Bitter and some other books, but I know that she's a good writer. I've heard good reviews about her, so I said, well, let's get her memoir and find out exactly what she's about. And here is a remake of A Little Women. This is a remix. So Many Beginnings by Bethany C. Morrow. And you know, I don't think I've ever read A Little Women, the classic book of Little Women, so I may have to get that, read it first, and then read this. And it's beautiful. These women on the cover are gorgeous. Gorgeous. And it's a Black author. And a remix. am a big fan of the Black Panther, as you saw in my previous video, if you watched it. I have, I collect comic books, so I love the Black Panther comic books and the Tales of Wakanda, and this is by several artists, and one of them is Nikki May, Tananarive, and some others, and it's a chunker. And this is the Black Panther on the cover, and I guess it's a multitude of stories. It's got, I believe it has some pictures in here. No, it doesn't. However, it is a lengthy book, and it's over just shy of 500 pages, like 501 pages. Look at that. But I had to get it. And I also got a collection of Black Panther comic books. These are the softback. And this is Black Panther and the Crew by Ta-Nehisi. And this is by Ta-Nehisi as well. Black Panther, A Nation Under Our Feet, Book 3. And Ta-Nehisi also, Black Panther, A Nation Under Our Feet, Book 1. I know I'm not giving them in order, but they're nice. They're nice. The size, I love the size. I love that they are softback. They're graphic novels. See that artwork in there? You know? And this one is also by Ta-Nehisi, The Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, Part 4. Again, Ta-Nehisi, Black Panther, The Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, Part 1. So I'm looking to collect them all. They're not in order, but they didn't have them all available from the site that I've ordered them from. So I'm on the lookout for the ones that I don't have. And if not, I may go to another source and get them. But these are really nice. And I don't know if I told you or gave you my review on Lorraine Hansberry. I finally finished this. I was reading it mostly on my Kindle. I have a vision problem. I don't see this fine print very good, and it's got very fine print. And so I was reading it on my Kindle, and it took me a while. This was an ARC that I received. It was very, very well done by Charles J. Shields. And I may get the hardback just to add to my collection because it has a lot of references in it, a lot of history, a lot of backstory, and it talks about a raisin in the sun, maybe what Lorraine Hansberry was thinking, where she was in her life at the time she wrote that script and that play, the whole idea of how she was producing it, her friends with James Baldwin, working with Paul Robeson. I mean, and the author of this biography did some extensive research. That is obvious. That was very obvious. I have yet still to post my review, but I will. I mean, it was one of those things after you read it, it had to sit and marinate in your brain and in your heart as to what you want to say about it. So I also found another book that would be complementary to after reading this book, Lorraine Hansberry, The Life Behind the Raisin in the Sun, and that's family properties. This book talks about how the struggle over race and real estate transformed Chicago and urban America. And this definitely complements reading this. Because her father, Lorraine Hansberry's parents actually, or the whole family, owned what they call kitchenettes. It housed low-income black families, and they took these houses and divided them up, and they had to share bathrooms, and kitchenettes were installed, and just the living in them was kind of subservient, and they had to go to court because they were fined lots of money, and how she had to entangle with that. And so this book on family properties might give me a little more insight into that aspect of her life as far as living in Chicago and changing the dynamics of blacks living in poverty, and where they segregated them into certain areas of the city to live and couldn't intermingle with white families or live in white suburbs or white communities. And her father did indeed help break some of those barriers. So that's what I have read. So I'm reading on my Kindle right now Beverly Jenkins' Rebel, which is a Women Who Dare novel. And I'm only like 10% into it. I love all of Beverly Jenkins' historical fiction novels. Romance, a little mystery. It is all good, and she has so far all true facts, people, organizations, the Freedmen's Bureau. I mean, I do research along as I read, and I am a fan of Beverly Jenkins. So this is what I'm reading now. And I'm also reading, we're finishing up Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Ta-Nehisi Hebert. And I was supposed to have read this with my book group, but I ran out of time for the discussion, but I'm going to finish it out and give my views on the book. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.